It was the year 2004. Talking about 20 years ago. I traveled to the West Coast and I gave a lecture there. After the lecture, an individual came over to me, a Holocaust survivor. He was 11 years old in Auschwitz when the war ended, when the camps were liberated. And he told me the following story, Chanukah story. He said he was there in the camps with his father. His father, he doesn't know whether it was typhus, but he had terrible illness, high fever. And being a little boy, he was very resourceful. He helped out in the kitchen and so on. So he would bring different things to some bombs and other ways to relieve some of the pain of his father. One day he went off to bring something to make his father's life a little easier. He says, this was not exactly a comfortable environment. It was a death camp. He came back, his father was gone. He was frantic, began running around. Here's my father. Well, probably was not going to return, and he did not return. There was a man in the barrack who came over to him. He said, this gentle-looking elderly man, like a sage type, and said to him, what's going on? He said, my father disappeared. Now this man says to him, I'm with you, and I'm here to do anything to help you, but you should know we are right now in the middle of the holiday of Chanukah. He says there were people who knew when the holidays were, and they would remind the rest of them. He says, the message of Chanukah is? The message of Chanukah is that no matter how dark it gets, we always can light a flame. Your father would be proud to know that you're here, and you're continuing to light his flame. The boy was so inspired, and he said, I remember in Lodge, when we lived in Lodge, we used to light the Chanukah menorah. Maybe we can light one here. The man said to him, it's very dangerous. He says, no, but I can have access to the kitchen. I'll bring some oil. Maybe you can find some material. And he did. He found like a shirt. They tore open some material. And they were ready to go light a Chanukah menorah. Obviously, a handmade one right there. A Nazi guard noticed, came over, saw what they had in their hands. He grabbed it away. And he was about to do something to them, but he was called by his superior. So that wouldn't last long. He came back and he says to them, okay, now I will show you. He pulled that old man behind the shed, and it was very clear that he shot him to death. But before that, as the boy was holding on to his hand, the man said to him, they're taking me away now. But remember this, don't think we did not light the flame. We didn't light the physical flame because God did not allow us to. Because the Nazis took away the oil, the material. But we lit the flame because we did everything in our power to light a flame. And the greatest flames is the 9th flame, the one that comes after the 8 days of Chanukah. It's so powerful that nobody can see it. But it's there in our resolve, in our commitment, in our faith. The fact that you are holding on to the flame, you will be freed from here. Remember the story. Tell it to everyone you meet. Tell them the flame was never extinguished. And even when it seemed like it didn't burn, the flame still burns. The strongest flames are the ones that you cannot see. He's telling me this story 60 years later, 1945, 1944, 2004. So I share the story as he told me he shared with so many people. So though Chanukah is coming to a close, it doesn't come to a close. The flame continues to burn in our hearts and our souls and our spirits. No matter what is happening in the world, that flame continues to burn. An eternal flame, ner tamid. We have to continue telling the story to ourselves, to our children. Continue the legacy, which is eternal, until we come to the point where we can see all the flames and all the sacrifices and the prices paid by those that were taken from us and those that are with us. That'll all emerge and erupt in this tremendous menorah that will illuminate the entire globe from one end to the other. That's the story of the 9th flame. Happy Chanukah, everyone. happy, bright, and illuminating future beginning from today. Let our light dispel all the darkness in every corner and every shadow of the world. A light that will completely consume and encompass all of existence. Be blessed and be well.